What's good, YouTube? It's your man Ronan, back for another one. And I haven't done these in a while, so it is a vet talk that is sorely overdue. But you already know the deal. Before I get into it, use the code Ronan10, and this is your passport into the A-game lifestyle. It deals with your vitality, energy, focus, and libido, among many other health benefits. And before I get into it, shout out to the A-Game Nation. Much love to the A-Game family. I am blessed and highly favored by the accompaniment of my peers who I can glean ideas, motivation, and creativity from. And much love to my brother Sheep Stay Sleep for the video that he did earlier today, and to my peers. But out of them so far, that one stuck to me because I didn't really think about it, but I'm glad, we can all inspire each other to speak on things at a deeper level. With that being said, this conversation dealing with my vets is entitled Free Money. Now, let me know in the comments section and whatnot if you've heard anybody deem your compensation, no matter what rating or the amount that comes in, as free money. I know on many occasions I've been told this. I've seen how people responded to me at certain levels. That should give you some serious insight as to who you're dealing with, especially if you're have an intimate relationship with them, or some even birthed you. Some that you thought were cool, a lot of that hinges on what you're able to provide, given your specific rating or the amount you're getting. Now, I'll get to the civilians too, but let's talk to the veterans first. First and foremost, you should never show any shame in getting what is due. Personally, I believe it's only 10% of what you sacrifice to getting compensation to deal with things day to day. Granted, there's some programs, initiatives that support us as veterans, as far as like with education. We're talking about the the GI Bill, things like the Yellow Ribbon bill dealing with another schooling, voc rehab, things as far as like military housing and whatnot. Even at the higher levels, like 100%, you're talking about more benefits and access to things that most people aren't. Number one, never be ashamed of your rating. First and foremost, all veterans that I've ever talked to that I'm cool with or lost contact with, always inspired them to go find out the information you weren't given on the way out. I was given, the basically, my DD-214, like, okay, good luck out there. And it took about a year or so to find out what was made available to me. So if you have fellow veterans that are aware of things that you're not, or you have veterans that are around you that have questions or didn't even know about certain things, be assured to arm them with the information that is out there. Let them know what they're entitled to. And if you can, go to the regional office or whatever military installation, as far as like the VA hospital or whatnot, and get them the pamphlets and booklets to inform them of what's made available to them. Some of them are out here, out in the dark. They're just assuming like, hey, I'm just trying to get on with my life as a newly indoctrinated civilian. And in most cases, like, thanks for letting me know what I need to know. And they go on forward. It's not just for egoic purposes. It should never be that. It's to help your fellow veteran, because that transition from military to civilian can be a rocky one for some. Me personally, it took me about 9 months to stop doing fire watch in the house, because that's what we've always been doing, to where some of us, that's been, paramount. It's ingrained with us. We go in there, and it drove my family nuts, going around the house, checking, the doors, going around, looking out windows and things like that. I even got yelled at, man, take your fucking ass to sleep. in many ways you can't sleep until you realize, until you feel to your standard that the house is secure. In many ways it's good, but in other ways civilians don't understand why that's necessary. But here's the thing about here's the second thing about this free money nonsense. You should never allow yourself to be a mule of convenience. Thing is, that compensation is entitled for you. Just like every year, say about 30% or better, that's my understanding, that you're allowed a clothing allowance. You get the form, and I have a video for that, and I had to go back and put links to things to connect the dots to things. But there's a form to where you get a clothing allowance, and say like I got knee braces or ankle braces, or some people have other things that will damage clothing. They will compensate you for the year, every year, once you submit that application. But I know if you have done it now, you have to do it by August. So you got a couple days, or maybe 2 weeks at best. But every year around that time, they will send that to you as far as like compensation there. Third thing with this free money deal, make sure you're entitled to do whatever you want. But if you're smart, try to invest that money wisely. I know you have to take care of bills, and you have to take care of other things that you're dealing with. But get around people who are going in the direction you aspire to go. Be mindful of the channels out here that, or even individuals out here who give you information. Properly vet them out. If they're talking about things about increasing your net worth and whatnot, it never hurts to sit there and like check them out, test them, see if they're consistent or whatever. And then if they are solid, go forth and, increase your income or wealth exponentially. That's one of the main things that we should be doing as veterans. Now, this applies to the civilians if they happen to come to a trust fund. And shout out to Chief Stay Sleep for doing a video on that. Or an allotment. I happened to experience that when my father passed away, and he worked for a Panhandle Eastern Gas Company. So dealing with natural fuels. And when he passed away, there was an allotment. Now, here's the thing about both compensation and allotment. It will expose a lot of people around you and yourself. If you're right about your income or making things extend beyond you, you'll be very mindful as to individuals who come with get-rich-quick schemes, always have some little unvetted hustle that needs your investment and whatnot. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to come at you and see you as a individual with a loose wallet. Thing is, you need to protect your investment as well as your heart. You can't save everybody. But the thing is, if it is solid, or if it's in your heart to do a solid thing for somebody, be wise about what you're investing into. That's something I'll share with you guys, and you take that for what you will. But in closing, I want to say there is no shame in receiving compensation, because if you think about it, there are many individuals who don't understand how favored they are. See, I'm at 80%. I'm not ashamed of saying that, because I've had flat feet, plantar fasciitis, that led to bilateral knees, which and then I had to deal with tinnitus in the ear. I'm still being rated for PTSD and sleep apnea, which if you ask any of the veterans out here who are helping other veterans to seek compensation, which you need to check out on YouTube. I can't list them here, but when I do get a chance, I'll do. And basically clinical depression, what I didn't apply for at this time. But whatever it is that you have, it can never compensate for having those liberties that most civilians have out here. Some of us are visually impaired. Some are physically impaired. Some are missing limbs. Some have lost the better part of themselves on respective battlefields, be it combat or in peacetime where certain traumatic things have happened to them to where they're not the same individual as they once were. For those who have suffered those things, similar to what I have, always make it a point to make your appointments. If you can't make the appointment, always call the VA hospital or representative to ensure that you help another veteran out by giving that time to them, rather than be an intentional liability. Because things happen, you oversleep, you lose track of time. That's why they'll send you reminders. When you get those reminders, put those reminders on your phone. That way, giving alerts like, okay, I gotta stay on point with mine. That helps adhere to the 10 life values in that aspect. As far as those who are civilian, who are receiving any financial compensation, either in a death or in trust money from someone who left it to you, it's not that much different. The thing is, this is your opportunity to grow that money given to you exponentially, and it gets to the point where you can pass that on to someone else. We need to get back into carrying that mindset of abundance and sharing it with others. Groom our peers, groom ourselves, groom those who have earned our trust to become viable investments of information and growth. Because as melanated men especially, we're sick and tired of passing on debt, excuses, and death as an inheritance to the children who will one day take care of us. So with that being said, as always, salute to my fellow veterans out here in the fight, and the civilians out here. Much love to you guys. And again, feel free to speak on things like this in the comment section. That way we can keep this dialogue going. And since we're about forward progression, when we're given such resources and opportunities to heal ourselves and be beneficial to others in a constructive fashion, this is where we need to have this healthy discussion. This is what the Black Manosphere is supposed to be, a repository of information, not just to receive it, but to put it into application and then pass it on to the next person. So with that, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Peace.